Hello and welcome once again to another edition of IFN News.
And it's day 5 outside the Old Bailey. For the last 2 decades of the 20th century, one man's name dominated our television screens. Small-time crook or Mr. Big, nobody it seemed was safe from television's investigative journalist, Roger Cook. In the witness box today, he revealed his part in how the show operated. Long in years, but sharp as ever, he freely gave up his understanding that Kenneth Clarke's name had indeed been raised in connection with Ian Greer, Cash for Questions, and vitally, as a matter of course, the Cook Report team. Picking up on this strand, Ben Fellows' defence ensured that Cook carefully repeated the connection. No doubt that Monday's appearance of Kenneth Clarke Mp will be watched with equal interest. Well, welcome back to IFN, and we'd also like to say a big welcome yet again, Deborah Williams from the Kent Freedom Movement. Deborah,
Hello.
How are you?
I'm right, thank you.
It's an exciting case, isn't it?
It is a very exciting case. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Come on, Roger Cook. I mean, didn't we all used to look at that in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s?
Yeah, I loved it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you know what really struck me about him was the technology that he used to trap people?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
What was your favourite bit of technology?
Well, the concealed equipment where they had hidden cameras. Now, it was very interesting because Roger Cook said, because he was asked a question, what sort of equipment did you use with, the concealed equipment? And he said it could be put in a clock, it could be in a desktop, and also it could be put in a tie.
Oh, that's right, he did, yeah.
Yeah, so it must be very small if it can be put on a tie.
Yeah.
Well, now this contradicts Clive.
Clive Entwistle.
Oh, Clive Entwistle.
Right,
that's it,
yeah.
right. I was a bit sure on
Didn't
the name.
he take the stand a couple of days ago and
He
talk
did.
about it being like a giant thing on his...
Yes, it was. In those days, he said it was too big. It wouldn't be able to be concealed in a jacket.
Well, just a minute. I mean, when
Yeah.
we're talking about the Cook Show, we're talking about from 1980 to sort of 2000, and they're along in years on the Cook Show, and technology is along in years, and everything got a lot smaller, didn't it? And the
It
price
did.
changed too, didn't it?
Yes.
What's the price ranges of these? Can you remember that?
Well, Roger Cook said around, when he first started, a piece of equipment like that could cost about £7,000. But he said, towards the end, you could pick up equipment for about £50.
Yeah, that's right. I think they were called pinhole cameras, weren't they? That you stuck on ties.
And
Yeah.
because that's what he said. He said the technology didn't actually necessarily change. What changed was they got smaller and less expensive. That's what he said.
Yeah. I tell you something else that made me think about it too. They showed us one video. What a tragedy they appear to have lost all the videos. They showed us one video. I mean, what was all that business about the storage?
Yeah, that was interesting because, Roger picked up on that today. He said that it was all archived and sent to a place called Iron Mountain. And tragically, they had a fire, and all the archive footage and everything and documents disappeared with the fire. So I'm just wondering where that film came from.
Well, this
where they showed in court.
Deborah, this makes me wonder, because now you've reminded me now what actually went on there. Yeah, that's right. Because wasn't it said afterwards, or the following witness, didn't he say that all the filming materials kept together, they had all these 30 to 60 tapes?
That's right.
Now they'd be like sort of about this size of my hand or something, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Because they're the Betamax tapes, as I remember.
Yeah.
And there'd be 30 to 60 of those per episode. Along with a key tape that probably was the episode, I suppose. And he said he put a big load of gaffer tape around it, and they went off on a pallet. So that was
right.
big, wasn't it?
It was.
So why just that one particular tape on its own came out? That makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It does make you wonder, and because the same guy, I think his name was Braun.
Oh, Philip Braun?
Philip Braun.
That's right, yeah.
And he said that when they recorded any film or anything like that, straight away it was labelled, and where it was filmed, who was in the film, etc. And it had a number, and all of the say like it was a document, a tape, or an interview separate. It all went together.
Yeah.
All together.
Right. So why were they separated? I suppose is the question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
Or is there copies of them? Well, thanks for joining us with IFN, and we're going to keep you well and close up with this one, because on Monday morning, of course, Kenneth Clarke Mp takes the stand.
From the team and myself, thanks for joining us today.